Student friends, in yesterday's lecture, we studied the concept of digital modulation, and after covering that particular aspect, we can say that we completed the modulation process. Maybe it is amplitude modulation, maybe it is frequency modulation, maybe it is a pulse code modulation, maybe it is a pulse amplitude modulation, maybe it is a pulse width modulation, it may be pulse position modulation, it may be ASK, it may be FSK, whatever the type it may be, it is being utilized in the section transmitter so that one can increase the speed of communication, one can reduce the time required to transmit the signal from transmitter toward the receiver, one can reduce the height of antenna, one can reduce the bandwidth, one can improve the quality of the satisfactory communication. All these type of modulations are essential. Now that is all the part that takes place in the transmitter. Now we are moving towards another part of communication aspect, and that is towards the receiver. As we are well aware that the modulation is the process in which the superimposition of signal over the carrier wave that takes place by changing the parameters of the carrier wave as per the change in parameter of the signal to be modulated. This superimposed signal, when reaches to the receiving end, then what happens? Then what happens is that takes place in the receiver section. A receiver may be your radio, a receiver may be your television kit. It may be any kind of a receiver. In that particular receiver, what exactly it is going to be takes place. As we are well aware that carrier wave has to do the job of carrying the signal information along with it. When it reaches to the receiver, carrier wave doesn't contain any signal. Therefore, we are interested only with the signal information, and that's why in the receiver section, the original information is to be removed from the superimposed carrier wave, that is from the modulated wave. Thus, we can say that we have to adopt the process of demodulation, meaning thereby we have to detect the signal in the receiver so that original information is separated from the modulated wave, and that is used for the purpose for which it is transmitted. Thus, we can say in receiver, demodulation process that takes place, and that process we are going to study today. That is what we can call it as, it is the process of demodulation. Thus, we can say that demodulation is the process of recovering the original information or recovering the original modulating signal from the modulated wave. And this process is essentially adapted in the receiver section. Basically, obtaining the original modulating signal from the modulated wave is the frequency translation, meaning thereby high frequency is going to be converted to low frequency. That means conversion of high frequency to low frequency translation that takes place in the demodulation process, by which the original modulating signal is separated or recovered from the modulated wave, and then it is processed. Processed means it is amplified, filtered, and then it is finally given to the destination process. We are going to study that particular demodulation process in detail. To give you a short idea, I can say for analog modulation with which the signal is transmitted, one has to make use of analog demodulation. For digital modulated signal, one has to make use of the digital demodulating process. We are going to study in this particular aspect one of the analog modulation or only analog demodulation process. One is for amplitude demodulation and second one is for the frequency demodulation. Let me begin the details of the demodulation process. To begin with the details of demodulation process, again I can say demodulation is the process by means of which one can recover the original modulating signal from the modulated wave. For that particular purpose, linear characteristics of the device is being utilized, so that whatever output signal is produced, it is proportional to that of the input signal which is transmitted. That means the semiconductor devices which have the linear characteristics is suitably utilized to detect the original information in the receiver section. If suppose so recovered signal deviates from the original modulating signal, then we can say that the distortion may going to occur. This distortion may be amplitude distortion, maybe there is a phase distortion. But as far as the recovered signal is there, it should be free from any distortion, so that clarity will be better. One can enjoy the better quality of the signal on the television or on the radio as a receiving device. Friends, let me continue to study the details regarding the demodulation process. Especially today, we are going to study envelope detector as being used in the amplitude modulated wave to recover the original information. Dear students, thus we can say the demodulation, it is a process of recovering the original modulating signal from the modulated wave, and it is known as a demodulation. It is also called as detection. Basically, demodulation is the process of frequency translation that translates the frequency from high to low, which requires nonlinear device which converts high frequency signal into low frequency. Any deviation from wave shape of modulating signal is known as distortion. If output of demodulator contains the frequency which are not present in the modulating signal, it is called as amplitude distortion. This we have already studied in last year when we have studied a power amplifier. The high frequency deviation is frequency distortion, and reduction in frequency component with altered phase relation is known as phase distortion. May this distortion going to appear at the receiving end. Phase distortion, amplitude distortion, or even frequency distortion, which are the deviation at the output which is not available at the input. Basically, we are going to study amplitude modulated detector. These are two types. One is a linear detector, second one is non-linear device detector. Linear detectors are used in practice and are of again two types. One is non-coherent, that is the envelope detector. Second one is a coherent or synchronous detector. Out of these two, in your syllabus, only non-coherent, that is envelope detector, is included, which is used to demodulate amplitude modulated signal. So we are going to study now the envelope detector as a demodulating device that is used in a receiver of amplitude modulated signal. So that's what envelope detector. It makes use of linear region of p-n junction diode connected with a parallel combination of R and C. How envelope detector is constructed? It makes use of p-n junction diode as a device, and its linear region of the IV characteristic is used to detect the modulating signal, in which the modulating signal obtained at the output is directly proportional to the input, and it is constructed by connecting the p-n junction diode and to that the parallel combination of resistance and capacitor. This circuit is as like that of the clamper circuit. We are going to see that circuit ahead. Due to this circuit, what happens? We are well aware of the working of clamper, which was studied in last year, paper number 6. As diode is operated in the linear region, output voltage is proportional to the input signal voltage during the positive half cycle. Meaning thereby, when we look to the circuit diagram, this is the circuit diagram of the amplitude demodulation circuit. Here is the p-n junction diode, and to this the parallel combination of resistance and capacitors are connected. And diode is made to work in the linear region. When as a being diode is working in the linear region, output voltage produced is directly proportional to that of the input. In the linear region, output is directly proportional to the input when the diode is forward biased. That is the condition. So as we are connecting diode in this particular fashion, it will forward bias only when the positive input cycle is received to it. During the positive cycle, diode is forward biased. At the cost of that, it conducts the current, and the current passes through the capacitor C. Capacitor C starts charging. During this process, output is directly proportional to that of input. But when negative cycle reaches to the diode, diode is reverse biased and diode doesn't conduct the current. As diode doesn't conduct the current, no output is available at the output, even though it is true, as the beam capacitor is already charged during the positive half cycle, that voltage will be made available across the load resistance R by discharging that particular capacitor. Meaning thereby, the signal will be clamped to one of this side only. This does the role of low pass filter, means only lower frequencies are passed. As merely it is a frequency translation, high frequency signal will be converted into low frequency by allowing R and C to be act as a low pass filter, as we explained just now. That's why if the input is in a modulated waveform, which we already studied in the amplitude modulation, this is the amplitude modulated waveform, which we already studied in AM modulation, that is applied as the input. and at the output we are going to get such a type of the signal which is a demodulated wave. This is what we can call it as, it is a demodulated wave. Look at here. This is the demodulated wave. Thus, from the modulated wave, original information is detected or separated. So this is the circuit diagram which we are going to be used as a AM detector or AM demodulator, which is a combination of half wave rectifier and also the low pass filter. Combinedly, it is known as envelope detector. Friends, that's what I was explaining just now. Envelope detector makes use of the linear region of the PN junction diode, just as seen in the circuit diagram, connected with the parallel combination of R and C. As diode is operated in the linear region, output voltage is proportional to the input signal during the positive half cycle, as the being diode is forward biased. But during the negative half cycle, diode doesn't conduct, but output voltage is maintained by the capacitor that discharges during this, as just now we have studied by using the circuit diagram. The charging and discharging action of capacitor depends upon time constant RC. Here, time constant RC plays the very vital role to detect the signal. Up till now, just we have studied the working of circuit, but the role of time constant is very, very important. If the time constant R and C is properly adjusted, then and then only envelope detector will produce the envelope at the output so as to get the original information. Otherwise, some distortion may going to appear at the output. That's what. If the time is correct, output voltage will follow the envelope. Meaning thereby, RC time constant plays the very vital role or important role. If RC time constant is less, output voltage falls off considerably. If RC time constant is less than that of discharging time of capacitor, the product of R and C, if it is less than that of discharging time of capacitor voltage across the resistance R, under that particular condition, the output voltage falls off considerably. During the non-conducting period of the diode, means when the diode is reverse biased and it will not follow the envelope. This is how the RC time constant plays the role. The first thing is that if suppose RC time constant is less, if it is less, then output voltage falls off considerably during the negative half cycle and doesn't produce the envelope. The output is quite low with high ripple, means high frequency is coming out, which is not necessary. This happens only when RC time constant is less. If suppose RC time constant is more increased, which results marginal fall in the output. When RC time constant is increased, fall in output voltage is a marginal. It is a fall in output voltage will be less, which will follow the envelope, means that can be used to detect the information. A further increase in RC time constant makes the discharge rate of capacitor low and discharge curve becomes horizontal. If the rate of fall of modulated envelope in negative half cycle of modulated voltage output is faster than rate of fall across RC combination, the output fails to follow the modulated envelope and the results distortion known as diagonal clipping. If RC time constant is less, fall of output voltage is more, doesn't follow the envelope. That is the first case. If RC time constant is properly adjusted, then fall of output voltage is marginal, it is less and it will follow the envelope and can be used as a detector. If RC time constant is further increased, then there is a result of diagonal clipping. Even though RC time constant is a proper, diagonal clipping is resulted due to increased modulating frequency that makes slope of modulated envelope steeper than the discharge curve of capacitor during the negative half cycle. Sometimes if RC time constant is properly adjusted, depends upon modulation index, depends upon how much percentage of the signal it is modulated, that will also result the diagonal clipping. Thus, selection of RC time constant is made depending on depth of modulation and highest frequency transmitted. Means RC time constant should be properly selected depending upon the modulation index and also the frequency, highest frequency which is transmitted. RC time constant is going to depends upon depth of modulation or modulation index and also the highest frequency which is expected to be transmitted. By knowing that, one can choose the value of R and C properly to be connected in the circuit diagrams. The RC time constant is obtained properly mathematically. We have to choose the RC time constant properly so that it is going to act as proper demodulation circuit. How it is going to be obtained? Just to decide the value of R and C, let us consider very general equation of voltage across capacitor Vc at a time t across R and C, for which we have already studied again in paper number 6, BSc part 2, that is wave stepping circuitries. In that topic we have studied this equation. By using that equation, one can say voltage across RC combination denoted by Vc at a time t is given as Vc is equal to Vo into e raised to minus t upon Rc, because discharging of capacitor that takes place exponentially, it decays exponentially, and that exponentially decaying equation of capacitor across the resistance R is given as Vc, voltage across capacitor in general, is equal to Vo, it is applied voltage, into e raised to minus t upon Rc, equation number 1. Differentiate this equation with respect to t so as to get it dVc by dt equal to minus Vo upon Rc into e raised to minus t upon Rc. That minus sign is taken to the left side, so that's fine. We can write it minus dVc by dt, that's equal to Vo upon Rc into e raised to minus t upon Rc. We are differentiating this. Vo is constant. Differentiating of e raised to minus t Rc is 1 upon Rc into e raised to minus t upon Rc. So that's why I can write it Vo upon Rc into e raised to minus t upon Rc. But Vo into e raised to minus t upon Rc is Vc by equation number 1. So that's how one can write minus dVc upon dt equal to Vc upon Rc. Let me call this as equation number 2. This is the very differentiated equation we obtained from very general formula of discharging action of capacitor that discharges through resistance R. Now coming to the point of demodulated wave. The decrease in voltage across C follows the modulated envelope if signal frequency sine wave voltage is used. While discharging, decrease in voltage across C follows the modulated envelope. This we can observe from equation number 2. But if suppose signal frequency is sine wave, then for modulated waveform we can say Vc equal to, means this is the equation we are studying for the circuitry. This one we are going to study now. Vc equal to k into Ec 1 plus Ma sine of omega t. This is a modulating equation which we are applying to the input of this circuitry. Means for this particular modulated waveform, which I already studied in amplitude modulated wave. So that equation it is given as Vc equal to K into capital EC 1 plus Ma sine of omega mt, where K is the efficiency of detecting diode, EC is the amplitude of carrier wave, Ma is the modulation index, omega mt is annular velocity of the modulating signal. Now differentiating equation 3 with respect to t, whatever we did for equation number 1, same process we have to adapt it here. So that's why I created dVc by dt equal to K into EC, it is constant, into differentiation of Ma into sine omega t, that is K into EC Ma omega m into cos of omega mt. So this is the differentiation of equation 3, which one can write it as dVc by dt is equal to K into EC omega Ma into cos omega mt with negative sign. Means on left side also negative sign, to the right side also negative sign. But in practice, to undergo envelope, dVc by dt should be very large. And as being this particular condition that dVc by dt should be kept large, we can say this dVc by dt should be greater than K into EC into omega m Ma cos of omega mt. So that's what it is represented. dVc by dt is greater than or equal to minus K into EC into omega Ma cos of omega mt. But dVc by dt can be written as Vc upon Rc from equation number 2 because here it is given as dVc minus dVc by dt equal to Vc upon Rc. Put it in this equation, that's why we can say Vc upon Rc, it is greater than or equal to K into EC omega m Ma cos of omega mt. Put the value of Vc from equation 3 as KEC 1 plus Ma sin omega mt in this equation, so that KEC will cancel and we can write it as 1 plus Ma sin of omega mt upon KEC omega m Ma cos of omega mt is greater than or equal to Rc. Means Rc should be greater than this particular factor. If it satisfies this particular condition, then and then only we can get proper envelope at the output. Means if Rc time constant satisfy this particular equation, then and then only we get proper detected signal at the output by following the envelope. Otherwise, maybe there is some kind of a distortion which is going to be gets produced at the output. So that's what the proper selection of R and C. By differentiating this and equating it to 0, we can get it sin of omega mt is equal to minus Ma and cos of omega mt is equal to square root of 1 minus Ma square. Means you have to choose the cos omega t with this particular value, sin omega t with minus modulation index. Then and then only proper R and C will be selected. With that proper value of R and C, one can get proper detected signal at the output. That is, RC time constant should be greater than or equal to omega n into Ma. So this is the proper condition to achieve the demodulated signal at the output. This is true for low value of Ma, and for highest 5 kHz frequency to be broadcasting, Ma is 30% to 40%. Friends, this is a very simple circuit. If you choose the proper value of R and C, which is greater than or equal to omega m into Ma, Ma is the modulation index, omega m is equal to 2 pi Fm, FM is the modulating frequency. We know modulating frequency, we know modulation index. If you multiply them, definitely it is going to give you the product of R and C. Accordingly, choose the value of R and C, connect this particular circuitry. This circuitry is being used in the receiving end, to which the modulated transmitted signal from the transmitter will enter the process of detection that takes place, and at the output original information is bifurcated or separated, then it is given to that of the proper destination. Student friends, that's all about how the amplitude modulated signal is detected or demodulated by using a non-linear device known as a p-n junction diode, which is to be operated in the linear region of its IV characteristics by choosing the proper value of R and C, so that RC time constant is greater than omega m into MA, to produce the proper envelope at the output to get the original recovered information which we expect, and it is provided to the destination. If you look to the block diagram of the first topic, that is general block diagram, where we have studied after receiver, we have given one more block, that is a destination. In receiver, this process that takes place, that is a demodulation, and demodulated signal is given to the proper destination, which may be converted into the required form, which is the original signal information which is transmitted from the transmitter section. Dear students, that's all about AM demodulation, which is being adapted for amplitude modulated wave. May be used in radio, may be used in television signal for picture communication, and for radio, if AM broadcasting radio services are available, all those stations make use of the amplitude modulation as a signal transmitting media. That makes use of amplitude demodulation in the receiving section. Nowadays, FM radios are also available that makes use of FM demodulation process. Tomorrow, we are going to study one of the method of FM demodulation, how frequency modulated signal is going to be gets detected. That's our task, which we are going to keep it for tomorrow. Today, we will stop here only.